Hey everyone, in today's video, I want to show you something you should do at the beginning of every Django project. So this has to do with the user model and making sure you have the most flexibility throughout your project, just in case you want to make changes to that user model. The reason why this is important is because if you don't do this, then when you try to make changes to your user model, it will be very difficult and you may have to recreate your database from scratch. So to avoid that, you can do the thing that I'm going to show you in this video. But before I get into that, I just want to let you know that I have a Django course available. It's called Understanding Django, and it's a full course on Django. And if you want to learn more about Django from me, you can go to my website and view the course. I have a link in the description below as well. There are a bunch of preview videos that you can look at if you're interested in browsing that. So as for the code, I have a virtual environment already started, so I'm going to quickly create a Django project. So let me install Django. Once Django is installed, I'll go ahead and start a project, and I'll just call this my project. I'll cd in there, and then also inside of my project, I'll start an app. For this, I'll just call it my app. So if you want to have an app for just the user functionality, you can call it something like accounts. Or if you want to have one big app for your project, then just create whatever makes sense for your project. So next, what I'll do is I'll go over to the settings in the My Project directory, and I'll add the My App to the list of installed apps. And then inside of My App, I'll go over to the models.py, and here's where I'll add the user model. So here, I'll just create a new class, and I'll call it user. And I'm going to inherit the AbstractUser. So I haven't imported yet, but it's just called AbstractUser. And all I have to do here is pass. And by doing this, I'll have the flexibility to modify this in the future. Like if I want to add more fields to the model, I can easily just remove the pass and add the fields here. So to import this, what I want to do is I want to import from Django.contrib.auth.models. I'm going to import this AbstractUser that I just created. And then I can go over to the admin because I need to modify this a little bit, the admin, to support this. So what I'll do is I'll import that model that I just created. So I'll say from .models import user because I'm going to add that to my admin. And then from the, I believe it's Django.contrib.auth.admin, I want to import user admin, the class. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to register that user model onto the admin, just like any other model that I register. So to do that, just admin.site register. I'll take the user model and then the user admin to combine the two, and then I can use it. And then the last thing I need to do is I need to update the settings. I'm going to add the auth user model. And this just needs to point to the app in the model, so my app.user. And then this allows me to tell Django that I want to use this as my user model instead of the default one. And like I said, the reason why I do this is because it gives me flexibility in the future if I want to change the user model. And this all has to be done before the first migration. That's why I say it needs to be done at the beginning. So now I can do the migrations. So I can do Python manage.py, then make migrations. And then that creates the user model for me. And then I'll migrate. And then that will migrate all of the default models along with the user model that I just created. So when you go to use this, it works pretty much just like the regular user model. Just one thing you need to know is when you reference it, let's say inside of the views, you want to import something called get user model. So from Django.contrib.auth import get _user _model. So one thing I see people do is they do something like this, get user model at the top. You can also put this inside of one of the classes or functions that you have, but you need that to get the actual class so Django knows how to connect the user model to the rest of the things in your app. So you can't just import the user model like a regular model. You want to import it this way through get user model. Likewise, if you have another class, another model that is going to reference the user model, like in a foreign key relationship, then you want to import these settings. So from Django.config import settings. And then let's just say down here you have some kind of a foreign key. What you want to do is on that foreign key, you want to reference settings.auth user model. So if I said something like, user equals models.foreign key, I want to specify settings.auth_user model instead of the user class. So those are really the two things you need to know. And then if you want to modify your user model any further, then it just depends on what you want to do. But I think if you don't know exactly what you want to do with the user model at the beginning of your project, then I believe you should do this at the beginning just to make sure that if you change your mind, you won't have to do anything too complicated to change your user model. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.